Hey, it's Olga here from olgadegtyaryeva.com and Productivity for Scientists. And today is not really of a strategy, but a personal share that I want to share with you my recent experience with the hope that it will help you if you're going through similar challenges. And I've decided to title it The Truth About My Trip to Russia. Now, some of you have recently know that I've recently visited my hometown in Russia. I went there for 3 weeks with all of my children, 3 children. So, of course, it's a big adventure, and I've posted the pictures, and the pictures look gorgeous. You could see that we had there some really cool adventures in the forest and around the lake, and visiting some places. But today I wanted to share the truth about my visit to Russia, and the truth is that it was challenging. It was challenging and difficult. And the thing is, I had a lot of expectations from that trip because we went a year ago, and it was in a way perfect. Everything we wanted to do, it went the right way. Like their summers in Russia tend to be hot, so it was nice, hot, warm weather, and it was very pleasant to cycle to the lake and swim in the lake. So the whole idea was to have this active holiday of cycling and swimming, and my children interacting with my mom, with a grandmother, so give them that time to be together. I knew it was good and important for my children and for my mom. And this time it just didn't go to plan. My idea was just to kind of repeat that because it was good, it was active, it was healthy. I got lots of like wild strawberries. Foraging in Russia is quite common. So I get the wild strawberries, wild blueberries, mushrooms. Have like a mushroom fry for dinner. But this time it just didn't go as planned because the summer was much colder. The summer didn't come until much later in August. So the June and July were cold. So when we came, it was rainy and cold, like chilly, and the weather in the lake was not warm enough to really swim in it, and there was not very many sunny days. I think it was like I counted, maybe it was like 6 days altogether that was sunny enough that we could go to the lake and the children would splash, but really it was a bit of a chilly and just that meant the rain meant that we were staying indoors, and you need to somehow entertain them indoors, which was a bit more tricky because I tend to get on top of each other and annoy each other. And so the arguing, in the end I just couldn't stand that. Once we went to the lake, just maybe not even to swim, but just to be in the nature by the lake. It was surrounded by the forest. We would sit there like in the middle where there was just no people or no like noise from anything. You could just hear the fish jumping and splashing in the water, and the campfire crackling, so you could hear those noises, and it was so quiet and peaceful, and the children were like boom, 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 arguing with each other. I was like, no! And then they hardly ever get sick, and this time they just were all ill there. They hardly ever. I can't even remember when the last time was sick. And here they were one after each other, exactly the same symptoms, throwing up and the fever. And of course, any mother would worry about children having fever, and so I was worrying, and I was looking after them, and there was allergic reaction to the mosquitoes. And then my mom, I usually try not to take her comments personal. I actually worked on that, to have my confidence, like self-confidence, not to take her comments personal. It doesn't matter what she says. And it's difficult, but I was up for that challenge. And it says, when you're feeling light, and go and stay with your parents, right? It's difficult to stay with your parents because what they say, it triggers the buttons, it triggers the past. And usually I would be quite good throughout the several years. I would be quite good in this, not to take her comments personally. But this time I was taking her comments personally, and it was making me feel negative. Like I was not a good enough mother. Like when Thomas, one of he was first out of all the children to get the flu, and I shared it with my mom in the evening, saying, "Well, Thomas has a flu." She said, "Well, that's your fault." And well, what she meant probably that I didn't look after him enough and didn't call him out of the water, out of the cold lake, and he got a flu. And usually I would like, whatever, that's ridiculous, really, that it's my fault. But this time I took it personally, and it affected everything I did, right? If just that feeling that I'm not good enough mother, and so on and so on. And what our mind tends to do is to stack the negative on top of each other. It would stack, and this bad happened, and this bad happened, and this bad happened, and this bad happened. And in no time, we feel so negative, and we kind of live in an expectation of bad things. Or if something else bad happens, and we say, of course it was supposed to happen. Everything is bad. What else bad will happen now, right? So that's what we say. So that's important in that moment to just become aware of that. And I became aware of that, and I knew I've studied this, I knew that strategy, but maybe in some level subconsciously even I've decided I need to pull myself out of this. So I picked up this, which I put in my luggage right before departure to Russia. So I picked up this and I started to write in the journal every morning. And so I would get up, have a glass of water, put all the children's electronics on the charger, and I would sit down and write. It takes 1 minute or 5 minutes. And what I would look for good moments in the previous day, not just focusing on, like hot running water and food on the table, but really focus on finding good moments in the previous day. And it was that we would go to the lake, and I would swim out very far into the lake that I could hardly hear my children screaming on the beach. It was just that nature, and I would actually enjoy that swim and connecting with nature. So I would write in the gratitude journal, I swim out into the lake and enjoying the peace and quiet and connection with nature. And the other amazing moment was meeting with my friend. It was like an outdoor cafe with a tent over it, like a huge temporary roof, and there was a live band playing music, and we were listening to the music, chatting, catching up, connecting, and watching our children playing nicely together, peacefully, so creative. And that was like an amazing moment that I wrote down. The other moment was after the rain, the whole day rain. In the evening, it stopped raining, and we would get out, and the air and the temperature would be perfect, not too cold, not too hot. It would be just feeling like absolutely perfect for the human body, so fresh. And we would go out for a stroll one day, and the other evening we would take our bikes and just ride through the town. The road, there was a fresh new tarmac road, just goes right around there. The town, and we would just watch everyone and everything. So I would ride, enjoying the bike ride in the evening, the perfect air temperature, and enjoying the scenery of the town, and so on and so on. This is things I would write in the journal. And what I was doing by this is to paying attention to the good moments I had, but also prolonging the life of those moments. And so gradually it started to feel like, yeah, I have all these good moments. It feels good. And I started to feel much, much better. And it just helped me to go through the difficult days, through the challenging days. And I hope that this personal share will help you if you're going through a difficult time. And the thing is, we have good times and we have difficult times, but that it won't last forever. You will have a good time again. But right now, if you're going through the challenging time, pick up a gratitude journal. Start to write for 1 minute, remembering the good moments of the past day, and prolonging their life, like really feeling them in your body and how great it feels to be in that moment. And what's going to happen is that there are bad days, but there are great moments, there are awesome moments. And when I came back from Russia, back here to UK, and friends started to ask me, how was the time? And maybe I even said, or I was really complained to say that it was challenging, it was really bad time, but I couldn't. I was just really saying we had good moments, and then I had those pictures of our good moments. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. And I was a bit of a rambling here, but I think you got the strategy, right? If you're experiencing bad time, pick up the gratitude journal, write for 1 minute, and notice the good moments, and your brain will start to live in expectations of those good moments, and just prolonging the life of those moments will help you feel better, and everything else will start around you will start to change. All right, I hope that was helpful, and I'll talk to you soon again. Bye.